Okay, now we're going to do a 3/4 inch depth card, envelope. And I went ahead and like everything like we did before the other one. We cut it 11 by 14, 11 by 14, and we're going to do it at the letter J and J. And the 3/4 one is you start off with the flat, so 1, 2, 3. So the third tier from the top, from the bottom, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to put this on the third tier. Going to put this one on this edge on the third tier also. Okay, so get my third tier here, put my third tier here, and then it tells me to score at J and J. And let me get my notes because I want to make sure I'm doing this right, because once you score once, you messed it up. Okay, yeah, J and J. So I'm going to go to my, I need my stylus. J and J. Now this little kit, I forgot to tell you, does come with a little stylus, but I don't like to use it because it just doesn't work as good as these still round ones. And I like the size of this one. It's got, of course it's a double end, but I like the size of that one for pretty much all my scoring. So we're going to do J, and since it's J and J, all 4 sides are going to be J and J. So that's going to be easy. I'm going to go ahead and do all 4 sides because you just saw me do that a while ago, and then I'll bring you back. Okay, so we're back. I just got through scoring all 4 sides, and you can see all the score marks at all 4. Again, we're going to, let me get my glasses on. We're going to cut, again, the little outer piece here. We're going to go straight to the little X here. And we're going to do the same thing that we did on that first envelope. So I'll bring you back when we get to the next phase. And we'll be right back. Okay, so I did the 4, but I messed up because I wasn't supposed to cut this until I did the other cutting. Until I did the other scoring. So we're going to go back to the third level. Third level. Always make sure both ends are on the right spot where you need to be. Okay, so this is J and J. Okay, and then I have to move this over, and I lost my spot. J and J, J and J, because we got to do 2 levels of this. So you know what, I got to do some reading. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I had to get another piece of paper because I messed up on that first one when I was doing my cuts. But this is not a total waste because I'm still going to use this as a flat card. As a flat envelope. Only I'm just going to make sure that I make a card that fits this size envelope. So this is not a total waste. Okay. But for the sake of the video, what you want to do is when you're doing a double layer is you always start off. Sorry, but I had to read the directions. I forgot, it's been quite a while. You want to start off on the first level first. So we want to put our first level here, and we're going to be doing the letter J. Oh, let me get my stylus. So we want to style it at, I need my bigger size. Stylus here. We want to score at the J. We're going to do the opposite side. Always start with one end and then do the exact opposite side. That way you're always right on track. Okay. And then we're gonna do the next letter J. Now we're going to go by the depth that we want to do, and so this is I'm using the 3/4, which is the third one. So 1, 2, 3. Now I want to go up on the J, which is the third spot, and we're going to score again on the J, and that's what gives us the depth for the size of item that you want to put in your envelope. Okay. And sometimes if your paper, that your stylus doesn't run sticky, put a little bit, rub a little bit of a dryer sheet over your paper, and then that will make the scoring a lot smoother. And sometimes that happens. So again, we're going to flip it, and we're going to do the exact same side, third level, and then we're going to score again on the J. Score again on the J. And because this particular size requires J and J, we're going to repeat the exact same step. So if you wanted to, you could have done all 4 sides with the first level J, and then done all 4 sides with the second level J. But if you stick with this doing corner to corner, when you do a bunch of these, you'll always have that repetition of doing that same way, so you don't mess up like I did the first one. So I'm doing on my J, and I'm on the first level. Flip it over. And I'm going to do it on the J, the same thing, or because I already know what I did, where I messed up, it's ingrained in my mind now. I'm going to do the third level, score again at the J, score again here at the J, and now we're going to do the first level, which is the flat level, or 1. It just depends on how you want to calculate it. It's totally up to you. Whoops. Don't go too fast because you don't want to leave any score marks that shouldn't be there. Now we're going to go up to the third level, because we're doing the 3/4 inch, which is the third level. And then we're going to score again at the J. Okay, so now you've got all the little score lines. You see that? And you see how it's got this is actually a 3/4 inch depth. And let's measure this. So from one end to the other, there you go. There's a 3/4 inch depth. See that? That's 3/4 inch. In fact, let me move this over so you can see that. And that is the 3/4 inch depth from one end to the other. There you go. You're all set. So we know that's worked. Get this out of the way. Now here's where you're going to do some trimming. And on your trimming, because this is part of the box, you want to start off, and this is the part that's going to get on the tricky side. Just fold, and gently fold it. And this is a little bit thicker. It's not as thick as cardstock, but it's not as thin as paper, and it's not as thick as cardstock. So I actually like this type of paper weight for my envelopes that I go and put in the postal mail, because you are able to put these in the postal mail, and I'll show you at the end of the video how to do that. Okay, and then you're going to fold it, and then there's where you make the depth of the envelope. Okay, same thing over here. I personally like to start off on the center, the closest part to the end. And I always like to fold before I cut, because sometimes you need to know exactly where to cut and how to cut it. So same thing, I'm going to fold it right on the natural crease of the score line. And I'm using my fingers. And then we're going to do the whole thing for alphabet, but you don't need to see me to do all that. I'll bring you back because I don't want this video to be too long. Okay, I went ahead. Okay, what you want to do is you want to cut this on your little fold line. There's that little bitty X right here. You want to cut that off. Then you want to cut straight through here, and then that'll be your fold. So what we'll want to do here is we want to cut this little X right here. You'll see that on the fold marks. And then it's right here. And then we're going to cut straight all the way down from the end to the first score. And then we're going to cut this little excess. So they're all like that. And then that's what makes your box. And these are the little flaps that are going to go. You're going to put adhesive right in here. And then that's going to make the little flap so you can make your little box. Okay, you see how that was done? So we're going to put adhesive here on this little flap. In fact, let me get my wet adhesive. You can do wet adhesive or dry, whichever one you have. It doesn't really make a difference. Totally up to you. I'm just going to do a little bit of wet adhesive right quick. And this is where you want to measure and do this so it's nice and flushed. And then you just want to hold it for a few minutes. just hold it for a few seconds. This is what I personally like when I'm doing this. I like to do my wet adhesive just because of the flexibility of being able to wiggle the paper just a little bit. And you don't need a whole lot of glue. You just wanted it to stick. Okay, because remember, you're going to be putting this in the postal mail. Or you can hand deliver it. It's up to you. And again, you're going to make it flushed. And then you're going to work your work all the way around. So I'll finish that up and I'll be back. Okay, we're back. So what I went ahead, and of course, I did all the little flaps all the way around. So you made yours act like a little box. And then some of these, depending on the size, you have just a little bit of room. So what you want to do is, again, like on this one, I used the bottom of the back paper. So I want to make sure this is what I glue down the bottom. And then this will be the flap that goes in and out, that the item goes in and out of, okay? Oh, you know what I messed up? I was supposed to do the little slit right through here, so this opens up. Actually, I'm just going to do it right now. I was supposed to have cut the one end right there. That was my fault there, but that's okay. I already glued it, but you're okay. You can still save it. We're good. And then there's a little flap. And then that allows you to open and close and open and close. Okay, you see that? And then there's a little tab that was there. I did that backwards, but that's okay. It's still going to work and it's going to be just fine. So now what I want to do is I want to get some tape and seal this right in here. I want to show you, you don't have a whole lot of room, so the really thin tape, which is this one, is going to be better, but I'm going to do wet glue just because I have more control over that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it on the edge of this. Oh, let me erase my pencil mark because I definitely don't want that to be shown anywhere at all on here. So erase whatever pencil marks you may have running around on this thing. Okay, no more there. Okay, so now, and because I want the card to go this way, okay, you get to go this way. It's totally up to you however you want to do it, but I already picked something in mind. So I'm going to do on this particular flap right in here, and you measure this also so you'll know how much adhesive you need. Do you need to go all the way or do you need to go halfway like we did in the first card? So I know I need to do halfway, all the way. So let me get my glue. I don't want it to be really overly thick. So I'm going to use the tip of the bottle. And I like this glue. Another reason I like this glue is because if you have any excess that oozes out, it dries clear. And then let me go ahead and do this tip. Same thing. And then I'm going to close it up. Oh, yeah, that was right. I did that right. I was going to say, oh no, I did the wrong side. Which I kind of did on this side. I did the wrong side. But you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to take off the excess glue. Because I don't want it on this flap. Not yet. Okay, so let's close this one up. And you want to flush the tip of the box over here. And I'm going to use my little ruler. Because you want to put something behind it so you know it adheres to it. And so I'm holding down to push it down so the two papers touch each other. And then I'm using the ruler to guide it. Okay? And I'm pushing up on the ruler so it touches the paper because I want the two pieces of paper to attach to each other so they stay glued. Okay, and see that? See, there's the seal. So now we want to do the same thing on this side. I don't want a whole lot of glue, but I do want some, but not a whole lot. And I'm just going to use the glue that's already there, smear it around. And we're going to do the same thing. Flush this over. Get my ruler. And press it so it stays. See how the ruler is holding? So the two pieces of paper attached to each other. See that there? Okay, so now that's done. Just wait a few seconds more, and then that one is done. So now, let's get a little envelope. And this is just a 6x6 card, but it's a layered card. And I went ahead and did this in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers. And I printed this on my printer through a CD-ROM. And it's just a double effect. And I don't have a message in here yet, because again, this is another card that's not totally complete, but I'm going to make a message. But I'm making my cards right now, and then I'll finish it up. And since this is the thickest part of the card, you can put it in this way. It doesn't really matter. Or you can put it in this way. And then when you get your envelope glue, we're going to do the same thing like we did before. I'm just going to wait for the glue to come to the tip of the bottle. There it comes. There it comes. And I'm not going to attach it because I want this to be air dry. And then it's going to close. But I don't want it to touch, but as you can see, it will seal. You see that? And it's going to seal. I'm not touching it because I don't want the glue to attach to that. And then there is your envelope. See that? I'm just touching the flaps right here. Okay. And that makes your envelope, and it's the depth thing. Now, because this is actually a little too wide, but the chart didn't let me do anything a little bit halfway through of what I needed. What I would do is I would actually put some tissue around this entire card to give it some depth so this doesn't get all squished up. And I personally would not mail this. You can if you want to, because I've actually done it. But it will get squished up in the postal mail because the postal carriers don't really pay attention to this. They're all rubber band and it's going to get squished. So I would fill this with some filler. Like I'll put a bunch of paper around this and wrap it around with a bunch of paper or some tissue. Actually, I would just use copy paper because that's the cheapest thing. Just wrap it around so it's a lot thicker and it's a lot more sturdy. And then I would always add a layer of cardboard on top, just so if it gets damaged, it doesn't get damaged too much. And then all my little curl edges and all that like this here don't get damaged. But this is just another way. And like I said, you could do this and mail it, or you just give it to somebody. But here's their card, and it's a little bit big, but you want it because you want the depth to hold the depth of the levels of the card. And that is my take on this card. And the other one's basically the same steps as what we just did here, this between the flat and the level. And I'll bring you back when I do all the cards. Okay? Okay, I'm back. I have finished all the cards. And let me just show you. Here is that one that the first one that I was going to do that I messed it up on. And I just do this so I know what to do. So this is a 7x7. And I keep all these that I make until... And then what I do is when I need another card, if it can be an odd size, because some of my swaps that I do have to be a certain size and some of them don't. So if I can find one, I go ahead and use it up. That way my stash doesn't get really full and I can go ahead and use it right away. So I just keep track of what size envelope this is. So this is a 7x7. I just stick it in a pencil and then I erase it when I get ready to mail it out. But I always go ahead and put that envelope glue. And you can see, hopefully you can see that on the glare there. Oh, there. So that's ready to go. That's going to go in my stash of pre-made envelopes. Here is this one. Isn't that a pretty paper? I like that paper. And this is the one that's got the, it's a snug fit, but it does fit. Okay, bear with me. Okay. Hold on. I know it fit. I got it in. I can get it out. There you go. I just needed to get, it got stuck. So there's that. There's just some extra glue there. Let me take that off. Well, what is that? Oh, that's a little bit of glue on the paper. So there's that card for that one. And as you can see, I have to lay it flat here to get it in, because it's really a snug fit, but it still fits. And see, look how it folds flat, just like a regular envelope. So we're all ready to go with that. And you can also trim the corners, where you have the rounder corner, or if you have a decorative corner puncher, and make it decorative, but I didn't do that on this time. And then here's that first one that we started off with. And you see that it folds flat. And then here is this one is the one that's made, let me get my little notes here. I made one of them to be 1/2 inch depth and the other one a 3/4. So this one's the 1.5, but I wanted to show you. See, here's the depth, okay? And look on the inside of the card, and I wanted to show you. This is a part that's got the extra layers. And you see how it's just barely have room for it, but it's enough so it doesn't squish it. But this side is good and firm. This one won't be. So do yourself a favor, like I said, when I said earlier, is wrap this. And I just use tissue because it's cheaper. And it doesn't really matter what color, but I do like to do the color code on the card. So I'll wrap this and I'll make it extra bulky on this side, so it's as bulky as this as far as height. So if I were to mail this, it wouldn't be all bent up and crumbled up. But I'm going to be honest with you, something like this, I probably will hand deliver this instead of mailing it. You know, but you have your options, because you are able to put these in the mail. But if you feel this, you know, look at that. Look, see that? I'm barely squeezing it. And you know as well as I do, the post office is not going to take good care of this. So I personally would not put this in the mail just like this by itself. But yes, you can. You are able to mail these. They're still fine. You're going to have to pay the off-center price, so you're going to pay a little bit more because of the size of it. Okay, but I think it's only like 15 cents. It's a 1 ounce size more, so that's not really that bad. But what I tend to end up doing is I end up putting, whenever I mail a box out of some goodies and I put a card in there, I just usually, what I do with this is I put the card in, I go ahead and seal the card up and address it and label it. And I do my addresses here on my from and to. Sometimes I use a label sticker. Sometimes I actually ink it on here. Like on this, because it's dark purple, I would use a white gel pen to ink it up and then address it the from and to, okay? And then put it on there. Or just go to the to from. And then I will put this in a box with the other items and stick it in there. But I still will cover this up, or I'll put some paper filler in here to make it nice and flush and snug, so that way when it goes through the packaging and mailing, it doesn't get all squished up and beat up. And I've actually done several of these extra wide boxes through the mail out, and the recipient said they got it, not a problem. And I've done it where I mailed it out directly, just like this, in the mail, just like this, sealed up and stamped, and they got it with no issues. There was, of course, a little crumbling here and there, but I made it so snug with the extra tissue that it really made it nice and firm, like a regular envelope, so it wasn't that much of an issue. And then it's sealed. But see, there's your little seal there, and you're all set and you're done. And you can just put your label on there, however you want to do it, and you're all set. So here is my take on all of these box envelopes that I made. So I did some box ones, and I did some regular flat ones. So we made a total of 5. And these were all made with the Crafter's Companion Envelobox Creator. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next video. Take care now. Bye-bye. Don't forget to hit like, comment, and share. Have a good one. Bye-bye.